Okay, so here's a tour. So this is the red currant bed, which is doing great. And I'm trying trellising some of them this year for easier picking and fewer bugs. So these are red currants with one little token white currant right there. And because these get watered, our little spruce tree is very happy, although he may have to get trimmed one of these days. This is an Adam's elderberry that just went in this year, and I worried that it was not going to grow, and it is. And that's actually a fruiting elderberry that we can eat. And then I put 2 plums in. So this is a Brooks plum, which is leafing out. It went in as a bare root this year and doing pretty well. This Olin's plum, I'm skeptical. It hasn't let out any leaves yet. We'll see. It's getting plenty of water and fed. These are the sea berries outside, which they're going to be super thorny and kind of provide a protective fence. And they also have really yummy berries. And because they're so thorny, they tell you to just cut branches of the berries off and freeze them. And that's how you harvest them. So these 3 guys are doing pretty well. This is a little shade garden I put in. And these are some white bleeding hearts. There's watermelon berries. There's actually nettles. Yes, I planted nettles. They're delicious. And some various ligularia ferns. And one little Himalayan poppy that's coming up. And I actually planted like 8 bare root hostas. I don't think any of them are coming up. We'll see. We'll see. There might be one. And then these are the veggie beds. They were planted as seed and coming along slowly. Cabbage, kale, dill, and cilantro are in this bed, and then some lamb's quarters. And then this bed is like endive, spinach, radish, stuff like that. And then this is another sort of shade bed. This is our north-facing shade bed, which is lots of ferns that I harvested from Kincaid Park. Ligularia, more watermelon berry that I also stole from Kincaid Park. And more ligularia, some comfrey. This thing is just taken off. I really didn't think it would do so well. And actually the ferns are already spreading. Yay! So I am super excited. And I'm going to take a pause and then go around the corner. So this is the west side of the house. This is mostly stuff that Melissa put in. The lily of the valley. My one hosta that's come up. I planted like a bunch. And so these are all things that Melissa put in that are doing great. Some geraniums, ferns. I forget what this stuff's called. Maybe lady's mantle. I don't remember. Hucheria. And boy, how exciting is this? Guess what? I put in a grape trellis. And guess what? They're growing. It's hidden down here, but it is actually leafing out and coming along. There it is. Some grape leaves. So, yeah, get ready for some winemaking. And the rain garden is not doing fantastic because we're having yet another crazy dry May. But this is all stuff that went in last year. Lots of edible greens like the bloody dock hiding down there. Peonies, all from Heifei and Barb's farm. I planted a metric fuck ton of bulbs and they all came up. This little edge of the rain garden, love it. This bed I built last year and put a bunch of bulbs in, and then I just planted. It's got thornless gooseberries in it. And I just added some echinacea plants and some iris for pollinating. This is the newly planted bed today. It's got 2 different species of blueberry, some echinacea, some delphinium, a Himalayan blue poppy. These are our apple trees. And man, check it out. They went in last year and gosh darn, man, they just look great. I really thought those little sticks weren't going to do anything. So we have 3 varieties of apples, and then these are in little guilds because they like the garlic chives and the yarrow and the comfrey. And actually, this whole little section goes nuts with bees. So we've got 3 of these little apple guilds, 3 different varieties of apples, all from Hayface Farm out in Peters Creek. More echinacea, the lupin, which everybody told me wouldn't come up, are coming up like crazy. And then this is the Shady Corner, and the Shazandra, I was not sure she'd be back, but she came up beautifully while I was gone for a week. And she is also fruiting. I grew up with these in Jersey. They have a lovely berry. This is the Nanking cherry, which gave us a ton of fruit last year. It was a little stubby shrub and still filled 2 yogurt containers full of cherries. The kiwis, man, boy, they're not, man, we'll see. It's June, early June, we'll see. But look at that. That's the only green that's come back, but people said these are slow to establish, so I'm going to remain hopeful. These are just tons of these peonies that I got from Hayfan Barb's farm. And this is another kiwi, which actually doesn't have any green on it yet. Strawberries are happy, going crazy. I put some hyssop in, more peonies. Oh, this guy's fun. This is a hazelburt tree. It's a variety between a cross between a hazelnut and a filbert, which I always thought were the same thing. Turns out they're not. But these supposedly will eventually produce nuts in zone 3. We shall see. And there's a male and a female because they need to have a male and female pair, and you can plant them in the same hole and twist them for space. So, and these are just more kiwi. This one is like, but guess what? It's got a few green leaves down there, so it may be okay. And I planted a bunch of French sorrel, which is supposed to be able to make it through the winter and reproduce. A monk's hood. This is just a little veggie bed that I put a bunch of potato starts in, and since they didn't come up, I stuffed a bunch of squashes and cauliflower in. This kiwi by far is doing the best of all of them. It didn't do much last year. You can tell it didn't vine, but it's got a lot of leaf. More peonies. And then this is a serviceberry hugel. So we've got some low bush cranberries in there. All these bulbs I planted last year came up. They were fantastic. Crocus, tulips, daffodils, all kinds of stuff. And these are the serviceberry bushes. And another little low bush cranberry, which somebody insists is called lingonberry, and they claim it's different than a low bush cranberry. It is not. They are wrong. This is Jeff and Fee gave me some chard. This is also trying this approach with the black currants because they got mauled by caterpillars last year. So I hacked them way back, and I'm kind of trellising just a few arms out to keep as much air as possible. And so far the leaves on this one look better than the others, and it's flowering. We'll see how it does. This is the former black currant bed, which is still black currants, but I hacked them all the way down to the ground, all the way down underground last year because of all the caterpillars and leaf rollers. And they're still a problem this year. So I thinned them considerably and applied some neem oil spray to see if that helps. But the strawberries are happy. And so these are a strawberry and black currant guild with a mock orange. And this is a high bush cranberry that's on the southern edge of the new blueberry hugel. And then there's the Norway maple that went in last year. Isn't that one seriously sexy tree? And the pièce de résistance, the cut leaf birch. Look at this hottie. I was a little bit worried because she's leaning on the tip. But, I don't know, people think it's okay. And so I just water the bejesus out of these guys, and they seem happy.